A covenant takes effect only upon multiple deaths, or goes into effect of the deaths. That's why some translations say men instead of man, because they recognize that the Greek word death here, the adjective, is a plural. What the writer is trying to say is that a will or a covenant takes effect only at the deaths of animals, not the deaths of party A or B. Did you catch that? The covenant is brought into reality upon the death or deaths of the animals, plural, not the deaths of party A or B. It's not that God or Israel has to die in order for the covenant to be brought into reality. Rather, it's the deaths of the animal. Since, he goes to explain, it is not in force as long as the party, either A or B, who made it is representatively still alive, meaning they have not taken on the representative death like is being demonstrated by the animals. That is how we should better understand verse 16 and 17. And in closing tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a quote from Tim Haig's commentary to the book of Hebrews on these two verses, and he does this nice little paraphrase of these two verses, and I think it'll help us understand what I'm trying to convey here. He says, "We may therefore give an explanatory translation of verses 16 and 17 as follows." So let me read it first for you real quick. 16 and 17 out of the ESV reads, "For where a will is involved, the death of the one who made it must be established, for a will takes effect only at death, since it is not in force as long as the one who made it is alive." Again, most translators are going to tell you that this will is a last will and testament that we would think about from a Western perspective, and it is effectual only at Christ's death, and therefore it doesn't go into effect before then, and therefore it's necessary for Messiah to die because the new covenant could not come into effect until Jesus died. Therefore, it's proof positive that the old covenant is not only done away with, but there was no salvation offered to anyone in the old covenant because there was no new covenant ratified until Yeshua died on the cross. That's traditional Christian exegesis of the passage for the most part, right? Which, of course, I disagree with. Here's what Tim Haig has to say. "We may therefore give this explanatory verse." Quote, "For where there is a covenant, the one who ratifies it must represent himself as dead in the covenant ratification ceremony. For a covenant is only guaranteed on the basis of the oath taken in regard to sacrificial animals. For it is never valid while the one making the covenant lives, that is, has failed to represent himself as dead in the event he acts falsely against the covenant." Did you catch Tim Haig's paraphrase? It's similar to the way I interpret the verse. We arrive at the same conclusion. It's that the writer's not saying that party A or party B had to die in order for the covenant to be brought into effect. On the contrary, the animal had to die in order for the contract to be brought into effect, and party A and party B had to both agree that they too must take on the punishment of death if they break their part of the contract. They didn't have to die that day when the contract was actually being enacted. In fact, if they did die, then the contract would have started and ended on the same day, because there'd be no party A or B anymore. One of them would have died. So this is the way we understand the passage.